Hey guys, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I am jumping in with my March faves. I know that we're already into April a little ways, but I've had so many awesome ideas for fun content for you guys, so I've been having fun just making all kinds of like random fun videos. So that's why this faves isn't like right at the start of the month. I mean, we're like the second weekend, but like whatever's. In March, March 13th to be exact. Actually, it was Friday the 13th. That was the last day of regular session school for the high school that I teach at. The students were sent home 2 weeks before our regularly scheduled spring break, which also lasts 2 weeks. So as of today that I film this, which is actually on April 13th, it has now been 1 month since being out of school. And we're already in the process of getting school started again online. So I've been doing a little bit of like, how are we gonna shift this? It's not too difficult because already a lot of things are online that we do with our students, both my freshmen and my seniors. So that's like not that big of a shift. But it's like, you know, doing maybe some office hours, like Zoom meetings, you know, with the students and stuff like that. March was a little, you know, it was interesting. And times are still interesting. So while I was just kind of like not knowing like what's going on, at least now I can, you know, lesson plan and like do something, you know. That's kind of sort of what I used to do. And by the way, I've been getting all these emails from my students. They're like, thank you, like we cannot wait to get back into like your classroom, even though it's virtually, like, you know. And they're all talking about, you know, they miss school, they miss me, which was like kind of nice. It's like, thank you. March was a little, you know, crazy. So I ordered a couple of things off of Amazon, but I haven't been too like spendy. I'm not really that kind of a person anyway, but I've been kind of like holding back on spending a little bit just because, you know, because. As I look around the room, I do have some things to share with you guys. I have some technology items, some stuff that smells good, some makeup-y items, which I know that's like, psh, that's new for me. Some decks and some books. So let's jump in. First tech item I want to talk about is the iRig Mic Lav, and that is what I am using right here. I don't know, can you hear me? And I have been meaning to get a microphone for this, you know, my camera for a while, just so I can have better sound quality. I'm always trying to make better quality type videos so that, you know, people really enjoy the things that I put out there, you know, whether I'm doing something silly or I'm really trying to give out some, you know, good, you know, teachy information. You know, I want to make sure that, you know, you guys enjoy this stuff. So I really do like the iRig Mic Lav. I just saw a bunch of reviews on Amazon, or well, Amazon too, but on YouTube, a lot of well, like vloggers and you know, other people really seem to like it. So I was like, well, it was like, I think it was 20 bucks, and I was like, that's not bad. You know, I don't like dropping huge chunks of change on stuff that I don't know how it's going to work. So 20 bucks on a mic that's pretty decent, I was like, hey. So yeah, I am all about this. Also want to give a shout out to my patrons over at patreon.com/kittens, weights, and tarot. It's due to you know, their support that they give me every single month that allows me to try and make my videos better and better quality. So thank you to my patrons. The next thing is actually my Nikon D800 DSLR camera. Now I've had this obviously for a really long time, but it's been a while since I've like actually taken pictures of myself. So in March and obviously now in April, I've been working on like self-portraits, like being able to get like tack sharpness the way I would if I was trying to do a portrait session with somebody else, except now like I'm in front of the camera, and I know I'm in front of the camera when I do my YouTube videos, but it's a little bit different like when you're like posing and like you're doing the modeling. And I think that it's been really fun for like my creative outlet, which is good for my mental health. And it's also for me a form of self-love, being able to love that person that's in the picture, you know, because I do get a little self-critical, actually maybe a lot self-critical about myself. So it's kind of nice to be able to do a little portrait session for yourself. And since I do have, it's like a remote, that's non-tethered finally, that I got like months ago. Maybe it's been more than months. Yes, but it was, okay, maybe it was months ago. But you know, I could just like do that little triggered remote and I can trigger the shutter release. And it's nice to have one that's not tethered finally. Like for some reason, like the D800s and stuff like that, you couldn't get a remote that wasn't tethered to the camera, which was super annoying. So finally, they came out with a wireless, a tetherless remote shutter release. So I was super happy about that. But one of my favorite lenses is actually the 85mm 1.4. And that is this beautiful piece of glass that you see on the camera here. And so that is what I've been using for my portrait sessions. I loved fixed lenses, fixed focal lengths, because I really do think that not only are you able to shoot like wide open, and it just lets in all this beautiful light, but it has really good bokeh and stuff like that. Like, psh, show me the bokeh. But anyway, so yeah, I've been loving this. Moving on over into scents, I have two of them, and there are the Sacred Goddess Ritual Body Oil, and this one is from the Witch's Roots box. I forgot the month that it came out. It was a few months ago. And then I have the Nurture Magical Anointing Oil from the Witch's Moon box. And what I've been doing with these, and actually, I'm almost out of this one. You can see it got like this much left right now. And this one's basically on its last breath. But what I've been doing with these is with this one on the dropper, I kind of put it along my forearm, and I just like to like rub my forearms together, and it just reminds me to be in my body. And also, you know, I've been working on like a lot of shadow work. Like this time at home has brought up a lot of shadow work, you know. So I've been working on that, and I've been working on a lot of self-care and, you know, self-love. And for me, you know, and for everybody, you know, it means all sorts of different things. And so like for me, like I talked about photography, like photography is one way that I am working on like my shadow self, and also working on showing myself a little bit of love, a little bit of care. But I think this also reminds me every morning and every night when I do it, you know, I put it on as soon as I get dressed in the morning, and then after I take my shower at night, you know, I also put it on before I go to bed. It's just remembering that I'm in this body, and it's just like bringing me to the present and who I am right now. And then this one, the Nurture, what I've been doing with this is, like I said, I tend to be rather critical of myself. You know, I don't know, I'm working through some stuff, you know, so like physically, you know, I tend to be very critical, like, you know, I wish this were like this, and I need to work on this, and, you know, and I try to stop myself, and this actually has been helping, because as soon as I feel myself get into this mode of like criticizing, like, oh, why, you know, why does this look like this, and this should be like this, and, you know, blah, 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 and you need to fix this, I start putting this on the parts of my body that I criticize. And as I, you know, am rubbing this stuff on parts of my body, I actually physically have to touch myself, and I have to remind myself that, hey, you are beautiful. This is the body that you were given. You know, there are many things that you can do with this body, and, you know, nobody looks the same. You know, you're meant to look how you look, you know, and you have to work with what you have. And so that just kind of, you know, brings me to the, okay, maybe I'm being a little hard on myself, because I would never ever speak like that to somebody else. So it just reminds me to, well, then you don't speak like that to yourself. So I have loved these oils for that. Then I want to get into some makeup, because as you know, I mean, right now, all I got is lipstick on, because that's all I ever have on. I have my Goddess of the Rose beauty salve that I've made myself, and that's the salve I wear on my face, and then that's all I wear except for lipstick. So I'm not really a makeup-y type of girl. I don't ever think I'll ever be that type of person who wears makeup every day. But every once in a while, I like to use it as a creative outlet. Again, you know, I'm working on this like creativity, you know, shadow work, all this stuff. And for me, finding a way to, you know, have creative outlets, you know, be it with photography, doing fun videos here on YouTube, putting makeup on. It's just a way for me to express myself and to be able to really, you know, work with myself, you know, having focused attention like on me, which is usually something I don't really do unless I'm criticizing myself. So I bought a few makeup-y items and I've been practicing like having full face of makeup. I can only stand it for a few hours before I have to wash it off, but I think it's really fun. Like it really is, like it's painting and I'm like, whoa, this is so cool, because I suck at painting, but I think I'm getting better at least at makeup. So okay, some of the makeup items that I'm working with, just, you know, for funsies, and since I'm not really going out all that much, people can't see if I've turned myself into a clown. So I'm using the Peach Perfect by Too Faced, and this is the mattifying loose setting powder. So when you guys are baking your faces, you know, see how I'm like using the lingo because I've been watching so many like beauty things on YouTube. Yes, this is a baking powder. It's translucent peach whisper. So I really like this, and a lot of the makeup people that I watch on YouTube, I try to find people of a similar ethnic background and skin color as I am, because back when I was a teenager and I was trying to start to use makeup, everything was too pale on me, you know, and everybody in my area was, you know, they're Mexican, and so everybody had these really, really pale white faces, because it was so hard to find powder. You know, we used like the CoverGirl like face powder. We'd like, you know, put powder on our faces, and it was hard to find something that was within our color. So now that, you know, all these lines are coming out with like trying to get as many different, you know, undertones, like skin tones, like, you know, you have your golds and your yellows and your olives and, you know, and all this. And they're trying to get a wide range of people so that there's makeup for everybody now, which I think is totally awesome. And with this Peach Perfect, it's cool because it's kind of got a like a pinky peachy color to it. So even though it's just setting powder and you're gonna like wipe it off later anyway, many people of the brown persuasion like myself like that it doesn't leave that like chalky whitey color, you know, like, I mean, I don't think anybody should have chalky color, to be honest. So I think this should be like for everybody's color, but you know. The other one is the Tarteist Pro Glow. So this is a highlight and contour kit. I've never had a highlight and contour kit, and I love when it opens. It's actually magnetic closure, just like some of the decks that I have. And it smells so good. It smells kind of like chocolate. But you can see some of the colors that I've already used, which are these two here and this one up here. So this one I've been using as a highlight, and then these two for my contour, because I'm just practicing contour. So, you know, like practicing some contour here and here. And like I said, I don't have any makeup on, so I can't really show you, but you know, putting a little down here and just having fun. Like I said, just like doing art but on your face. So if you are interested and you are somebody who, like me, I have really olive, you know, undertones. So when I haven't seen the sun in a while, like my boyfriend jokes that I look like an olive, you know, and then if I do go out in the sun, my nose turns red. So he says I look like a pimento. So I'm a little olive with a pimento. Okay, so I like to use Fire here and Shade, which is in the creamy version. This is the powder version, this is the creamy version. If you're somebody like me who tans very easily, even if I have sunblock on, I still tan, and actually I get a longer lasting tan if I have sunblock on, which is interesting. So I never go out without sunblock, but I just notice I get a longer lasting tan, and I just like tan like that. I'm out in the sun for 5 minutes, like tan lines, like. And then for the highlight, I like using strobe, so that is the light one here. So anyway, I like this one. I think it's pretty cool. I can't do a full face of makeup every single day, but you know, if once a week I want to have a little bit of fun, then yeah, I'm going to play around with that. And then speaking of full face of makeup, I turned to Juvia's Place for foundation because I never wear foundation. And I was also looking for like concealer and stuff like that to like brighten up, you know, the front of your face, like right here and here and, you know, up here and down here. And, you know, anywhere where like the light that's shining on me right now would hit. You know, I've been learning about all this stuff, so this is like, it's really fun, you know, to me. And Juvia's Place is known for being very friendly with people of darker colors like myself. And so the one that I am using is called the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation, and it is like full coverage. So like all of my freckles gone, like my melasma that I have like here and here, like is gone. But I kind of like some of my freckles, and like I like my mole that I have, you know, here, so I kind of like draw them back in. I'm like, wait, where'd you go? Let's see, this shade is in Bogota. So if you are somebody who looks like my skin color, then you would probably be that Bogota color. And then for concealer, you want to get something that is, of course, you know, lighter, so that you could put that here and just kind of have that dimension to your face. You know, like I said, it's this art, it's fun to me. This is in a level 20, also from Juvia's Place. So liking these two. Other makeup-y items from Essence Prime Studio. I have the Mattifying Pore Minimizing Primer with black clay. I'm learning that you have to lay down something before you lay down your foundation. You got to do all this like baking and setting, and like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do to the face. And if you're somebody who does that every single day, like, whew, that's a lot of work, you guys. But I like this, and I am very, very, very oily, which my uncle and like other people in my family have said, you know, the Filipinos like myself, we be oily, but that also means that it takes a long, long time before we'll ever get wrinkles. So I know, hate all you want. But anyway, this soaks up a lot of my oil so that I don't get like super shiny when I am wearing makeup. And then I ended up buying these, I think it was like $5 or $6 for these little concealer sticks here. And what these are for doing like a color correction on certain things on your face. Like for this green one, if you have like some ginormous zits and you got some like red spots all over your face, this is really good at canceling out the red. So you'd lay this down first, you'd have all these like green spots, right? And then you would take like some concealer and you put over that, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, your like zits are gone. And then for me, the one I'm actually using, because I don't really get like acne or anything, and that's probably mostly thanks to my salve, the beauty salve that I've made. If you want it, is in my shop, kittensweightsandtarot.com. But actually that helped to clear up my complexion. Not that I got a lot of pimples to begin with. It was like maybe like a couple here, maybe like a couple here, one on my nose from wearing my sunglasses when I go coach, you know, my track team. But yeah, the salve has really helped. So I really don't need this one. But this one, like I said here, is for my melasma. It's for my dark spots. So I end up putting like an orange splotch here and an orange splotch here and up here, and a little bit on my upper lip. And then I just put a little concealer, and it's like, boom, it's gone. And that's, you don't even need to do a full face of makeup. Like I could just put my tinted moisturizer over it, and like I'm good to go. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then this one, I don't think I'll ever use, but this one is for a purple and blue tone. So like if you got a black eye, you know, because you be fighting with trying to get those decks open sometimes. You know, sometimes trying to get that packaging open, like right in your own eye, you know? But yeah, so I guess if you have some bruises, or maybe if you have like birthmarks on the face, or, you know, on your neck or something like that. Actually, back when I was in elementary school, I knew a girl who had a birthmark, and it was right here. And so it was like a deep purple, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I thought she looked so pretty because it was like she had one eye like done in eyeshadow, like a beautiful purple eyeshadow. I don't know. I thought it was cool, and she would always be so self-conscious of it, and I was like, dude, that is like so pretty. Like I want a birthmark right there. I'm like, that is so cool. But you know, if you are somebody who would be self-conscious about something like that, I guess you'd use this more like yellowy color for that. Moving on to stones. Okay, in the month of March, there was like one stone I was really clinging to, especially once school was out, and I was like, what's going on, you know? And that was aquamarine. It was aquamarine. I would put it on my throat. I would keep it in my pocket. You know, I'd sleep with it under my pillow, and it was just like the, you know, like it literally is a rock. I was like, yeah, just keep me hanging on, you know, because I don't know what's going on. So this really helped to keep me level-headed and collected. In March, before we knew that we were going to be out of school, and then even once we were out of school, finally, it was like aquamarine all the way. Then we get to some books. So there was a book that I started reading in March, and then I finished in March, and that was Every Word Has Power. This is by Yvonne Oswald, and let me say that this has been a game changer, you know, in how I talk to myself, the words that I use, and also the words that I use when I talk to other people. And even here on YouTube, I've been even more conscious of like what I'm saying and how it could have like a negative connotation, even though like the things I say are meant to be positive, you know. And so I just thought that was interesting. There's a lot of meditations in here that you can do. There's exercises for people who suffer from anxiety, and I do get anxiety. So this has been really really helpful. So this was a gift from my girl out in Jersey, and she got this like for pretty cheap at one of her library book sales. So this is a nice used book, so you know, you never know what treasures you're gonna find in the used book section. So go out there and go get those $1 and $2 books, because there are some gems in there, and this was definitely one of those gems. So I'm really happy to have this. And another book that I am loving in the month of March was Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, and this was actually from the Witch's Moon box, and I have been having so much fun just going through all of these awesome herbs that are in here, and some of like the Witch's Moon grimoire pictures that they create, I have put inside this book as well. But it just has so much information, and it's not overly wordy where I get lost in the information. There's, you know, sketches, and I think it's great. Like, and even the appendixes, like in the back, there's just a lot of great stuff. So I'm loving this as well. And then once school was out, I ordered something on Amazon, and it was a journal for practicing the mindful art of not giving a shizzle. And this is the Zen as Fudge Sticks journal, and this has been really handy. I have been using it since I've been out of school. I don't use it every day, but maybe every other day I'll like look in the book and then complete a page, and it's like little prompts and things for you to do. Like here, you know, it was like coloring a narwhal. It's like a little stuff like that. There's like, you know, little like poems, and there's quotes, and just stuff that's meant to be uplifting and helping you to like take a good look at things that maybe you would shy away from, and just, you know, looking at different aspects of yourself. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of shadow work. Here is like, it says, spread those beautiful effing wings. Like Icarus, who flew too close to the sun, sometimes we make decisions that are dumb as F in an attempt to get what we want. So start by lightening your load. Is there something weighing on you that's not necessary, unhealthy, or heavy AF? It says, you want to fly, you got to give the S up that weighs you down. Song of Solomon from Toni Morrison. So here it said to make a list of 3 things that are preventing you from getting where you want to be. They can be big or small. So it's like, you know, stuff like that. This is now like cross off the ones that you actually get done. I haven't gotten that far in. Like right now it's April, but I don't know. I've done this much, so you know, I guess I've done quite a bit. Right now I'm on to writing like a baby bucket list. So yeah, I don't know. I just think this is like a really, really cool journal. It's colorful, it's interactive, it's a lot of fun. Oh, and this one is by Monica Sweeney, by the way. Like, woo! All right, the moment that many of you have been waiting for, and that is decks. The decks that I've been using for the month of March. Not a whole lot, but they were the ones that I've been working with. All right, so the very first deck is the Legendary Ladies Goddess deck by Ann Chen. And I have one of her, she's the artist in a book that I have, and I love the artwork so much. I was so stoked to hear that she was coming out with an oracle deck, and I was like, well, I love her artwork, like of course I'm going to pre-order that deck. So I was very happy when it came, but it's got a little guidebook that gives you like a little tidbit on each of these goddesses, but it doesn't go into lots of detail. But it's nice if you want to like a little snapshot. So those are the backs, and there we go. The artwork reminds me of like late 50s, early 60s children's book type artwork. I don't know, I find it really like sweet, nostalgic, you know, bringing me back to my childhood, because I had a lot of books from like the 60s and the 50s, well 80s books too, because I was like an 80s kid. But I don't know, I really like the energy that comes through with this deck. So this was really helpful, especially when, you know, we got out of school on the 13th and it was like, what's going on? What do we do? What do we do? I just found it very comforting. The next deck was recommended to be by my bestie out in Belgium, and this is the Shine from the Inside Oracle Cards and Guidebook deck by Brittany Carmichael with the artwork by Jenna Kane. Let me zoom in there. Ooh, look at how the shininess is. Beautiful gold foil. I think I already did a review of this deck, so you could check it out in my reviews playlist. But those are the backs, and there we go. Here are the cards. Very sweet. I have a couple of decks that I have, I think are very similar in artwork and the pastels and watercolor. Like there's the, what's the self-care activity book deck, or no, self-care activity deck. I think looks very similar. There's one other deck. I think it's also called just the self-care deck, but I think they have similar images, and I don't know, I really like how this one speaks. And then I finally got the Hush Tarot. I know that a lot of people have been talking about this, and I was like, I don't know. And then I just went for it, and then I was like, oh, I dig this. So these are the backings. And for me, it's like your dreamscape. You know, when you dream and things are like kind of weird, like sometimes people are just like walking around naked in your dream, or like you're walking around naked, or like you get out of your car but you get out into a bathroom or something like that. And yeah, it's like your dreams, like while you're conscious, you're like, that really didn't make any sense. Like, whoa, what was going on? But it made complete sense when you're in your dream. To me, that's what this deck is. It's like, you know, it's like you're in your dreamscape. You know, it looks kind of weird because you're awake as you're looking at this, but if you look at it from a dreamer's perspective, you're like, oh, I can see what all those metaphors and those symbols and everything could mean, you know, and how does that connect to your waking life? To me, that's kind of what it is. So I've been digging that. And then I got a couple of decks from Lynn Boyle, and actually I ordered them on January 28th, and they showed up, I think it was like mid-March, just because everything that was going on, you know, in China, you know, obviously had delayed shipping and stuff like this. And so, you know, it was like right when everything was going a little cray cray. So I was really happy when these finally did show up. I made sure to leave an awesome review because I love these two decks. So it's these two little decks here. One of them is the Stitches Lenormand, and the other one is the Retro Gypsy cards, which I just did a review on this past Sunday, so you can definitely check it out. So the Retro Gypsy cards, these are the backs, and here's the fronts. And there's even some extra cards, like an extra like love card. I think there's an extra officer card, child card. There's a few extra cards, you know, so you can choose the one that you like best. It has the name of what it is in quite a few other languages, so it's in 6 languages. And I like using gypsy cards. I like how they read, you know, it's kind of like the way you would read Lenormand, kind of, sort of. Like kind of Kipper, kind of Lenormand, kind of in there. So yeah, I love this deck, and like I said, I like the other one too. And I like that they're small enough that I could just throw them in my purse and be on my way wherever it is I'm going to be going, although I haven't really been going anywhere lately. There's nowhere to go except out for a walk, and I'm not going to go walking with my cards, you know, now if I'm exercising. But here is the Stitches Lenormand, which comes with an extra man, woman, and birds card. So here are the backs of those, and it's all cross stitch, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I like this. It's really sweet. Kind of reminds me of like stuff I'd see hanging in my grandma's house. So it has that nostalgic feel to it. But yeah, I've been loving this one too. All right, that's it, you guys. That was everything that was in my March 2020 faves. Yes, we are already in April. Who knows what the rest of the year is going to bring. It's been a rather interesting year thus far. Yeah, so I love sharing my faves with you guys. I love watching other people's faves. And I think, in my personal opinion, the reason I think people do faves videos, or maybe the reason I do faves videos, is because I want to show people, like, here are the things that I'm using, and maybe it would inspire you to use what you already have in a different way, or maybe I have something that you've been looking for and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I've been looking for that everywhere. Who makes that, you know? You know, really, but it's just to, you know, inspire, like, you know, some ideas and stuff like that. It's kind of like a video Pinterest. You know, people look at all these things and they save all these pins, you know, on Pinterest of like beautiful pictures and decks and cameras and makeup. And it's not that they want to buy all those things, but they use them as kind of like a vision board, or like color, or, you know, whatever it is they're trying to craft or design, or, you know, whatever it is that's I don't know, building their creativity. You know, that's kind of what faves videos are to me, you know. So, you know, it sparks creativity. I might even see a color of somebody showing off all their decks, and all their decks might be there might be a theme and color of purples, and well, I'm wearing lavender, but I'm like, ooh, like, I like that color. How can I incorporate that color into things that I'm wearing, you know? That's just kind of how I operate with faves. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a lot of really random stuff. You know, we had makeup and cameras and microphones and books and stones and decks and stuff that smells really good. Oh my. But anyway, I had fun with this. I hope you guys had fun with this. And if you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com, where I also have my beauty salves, my healing salves, my room and body sprays. I have my bracelets that I make, and I have my witch kits. I only have a few witch kits left, so get them while they're there. And on my website, I also have a place for you to sign up for my newsletter, which is absolutely free. I only hit your inbox once a month. Scout's honor. No, Scout's honor. And I have like DIY crafty stuff, witchy stuff, crystals I'm working with, decks I'm working with, channels that I'm watching, music that I'm jamming to, all kinds of stuff like that. So if that interests you, please sign up. And if you want to throw a little love my way, think about joining the KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittens, weights, and tarot. And I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.